Hold on to your goggles. It's time for the Epic Engagement Adventure. Greetings, grasshoppers. You know what time it is. It is time for the Epic Engagement Adventure. My name is RJ Redden. I create epic engagement experiences for clients all day long. With me today, the credibility guy. Yes! He is a guy that will help you with your credibility online. What is it about our environment that makes people not trust each other? It's because they've been messed with so many times. You need credibility in your life, and this guy also has a way of engaging his clients and his pre-clients like I've never seen before, and it is incredible. So, Michael DeLon, could you introduce yourself? Who are you? What do you do?
RJ, thank you, first of all, for having me here. I have been waiting for this. Bated breath, just can't wait to get here for epic. I love that word. We can explain that later, but I love epic, everything epic. So, all right, I'm going to tell you my whole story, okay? It's going to take about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And you listen fast, because in that story, you're going to find all kinds of nuggets that we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, okay? So, I'm a follower of Christ. I've been married 32 years. I've got 4 children, 2 biological sons who are married out of the house. I got 2 daughters who are in the house, 14 and soon to be 12. They're both adopted from foster care. My wife and I did foster care for about 8 years, fostered 25 kids. When Jill and I got married, this was back in 1990. First 5 years of our marriage were like this, RJ. We fought because she and I both grew up in church, but nobody taught us how to be married. And so we went finally to a marriage conference called Family Life Marriage Conference. And they revealed to us God's blueprints for marriage. I didn't know he had any. And so we got his blueprints. We brought them. We started working on our marriage. Our marriage started getting better. This was in the 90s. I was selling at Christian radio. I was on a Christian radio station as a sales manager. No, what I found after 2 years is nobody wanted to buy Christian radio. They wanted to sell their products and services. So I either had to become really good at selling or really good at marketing. I chose marketing. I bought the books. I followed the gurus. I went to the conferences. I learned how to do marketing for small business owners, so my business would grow. At the end of that decade, I left Christian radio and went to a startup.com that some friends of mine were starting. Remember when Amazon was just getting started?
Yeah.
Remember William Shatner on the radio, the world's largest bookstore. That's when I was out selling banner ads to car dealerships and hospitals who didn't even have a website yet. And so I did that for a couple of years. That company was ahead of its time, RJ. That means they went bankrupt. So I found myself in the living room of my house looking up at the ceiling going, God, what am I supposed to do now? And he spoke to my heart. He says, Michael, I want you to ministry to families, and I want you at Family Life, that ministry that changed my marriage. I said, well, duh, that makes sense. So we raised our support as missionaries for 2 years. Then we moved from Indiana down to Little Rock, Arkansas, which is where Family Life's headquartered. And I thought I was in nirvana. I mean, gosh, why would I ever do anything else? This is amazing. Well, I started climbing the corporate ladder. 6 years later, I'm on the leadership team of that ministry. And they start going through corporate reorganizations. And so after the 3rd reorganization is rolled out, my name's no longer on the leadership team, RJ. They start shuffling me around the ministry to do different things. That was the beginning of a 2-year prison term for me. I was in a job I hated at a ministry I loved. So after 2 years, I prayed. I said, God, I got to get out of this thing. He's like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go help small business owners with marketing because they hate it. They struggle with it, and I love it. And he said, go. So on January 1st of 2013, I escaped from prison. And I left the ministry, and I started a marketing consulting firm. And so I'd call you. I'd say, RJ, I think I can help you grow your business. You'd meet with me. We'd have a great conversation. Somewhere in that conversation, you say, Michael, what have you done for the last few years? Who have you helped? I say, well, I've helped build marriages and families at Family Life. And you say, Michael, that's so honorable. Way to go. Oh, look at the time. I've got another meeting coming up. Let's reschedule. And you'd usher me out the door. And I wouldn't get any clients. And I'm like, okay, this got to change. And so I went to my church one day, 2nd floor. I was pacing the hallways. I was saying, God, how do I help RJ? Because I know I can. And he gave me this idea. He says, take all your marketing ideas and put them in a book. And so I did. And so in 2013, I published my first book on marketing. Then RJ, I'd call you and say, I think I can help you with your marketing. You set an appointment. I'd mail you a copy of my book. And a week later, I'd walk into your office for our meeting. And there it was. My book was on your desk, dog-eared, highlighted, and underlined. You'd read my book. And in that meeting, you say, now, Michael, in your book, you said, how do you help me do that? And you'd hire me. And I started gaining clients. And I thought, well, this is really cool. Why don't business owners do this? Well, it's really hard to write a book, RJ. There's lots of moving parts, right? It took me forever to get this thing done. A lot of nights and weekends. So I created a process where we now help business owners, thought leaders, experts create a book without writing a word. And then we teach them our credibility marketing systems so they can actually monetize their expertise through the pages of their book. So they'll gain clients, get referrals, and grow their revenue. Whew. That's a long story. I'm sticking to it. But that's kind of how I got to do what I'm doing, because I realized when I met with you that second time, RJ, and you had a book, the only thing that changed in those two meetings, it wasn't my background in ministry that changed. My understanding of marketing didn't change. The fact that I had a book and I was an expert in your mind, that changed the game plan. That changed everything for me. Now I get to help other people do that. And so I'm really stoked about what I do. I hope it comes across.
Well, if people don't have their volume up, it is not. But we'll get this transcribed. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, coming through loud and clear, as you always do, my friend.
Thank you.
Well, and that's the thing, is that, when I was very first entrepreneuring, I had those questions. It was like, okay, people are telling me I ought to get on stages. People are telling me I ought to write a book. People are telling me I ought to be more out there on social networking. People are, it's like, there's so many things, so many options, that it's almost a paralysis of analysis. It becomes like, do your people ever go through that in their journey to decide to write a book?
Oh, all the time. And whether they're a new entrepreneur or they've been at it 20 or 30 years, they all struggle, and primarily because they're not telling their story. A lot of people come to me and they are what I refer to lovingly as a coffee bean. Okay, now I love coffee, but if I gave you a bag of coffee beans and you open them up and you pour them out on the table right in front of you, they all look the same, they smell the same. And in marketing, if you look like and sound like all of your competitors, why should I choose you? And I think that's where most small business owners are. Yeah. And so the first thing we always do, and the counsel I give most business owners, is find out your story, what we call your signature message. What is unique about you, and camp there, right? Kind of like RJ, right? First person I've ever met who wears goggles. It's like, okay, what is going on? And the cape, and it draws you in because I'm curious now. And then you meet her and you're like, oh, you're really cool. That's marketing. You do a great job. That's what other people need to do. So yeah, everybody struggles with that.
Yeah. Gosh. And I know, a book is a long time coming for me. I'm doing it, Michael.
There you go.
But yeah, when there are so many options, it's like, why should you choose a book over other things? Yeah. And so I would like to ask you that, like you had said just a few minutes ago that it's not just about publishing the book, it's about that program after that helps you turn the pages of that into something active and live and something that is bringing in people for you. Could you talk about that a little bit more?
Absolutely, yeah. So I have this thing, I call it the myth of Moses. Okay, so in the Bible, Moses, they're leaving Egypt and he gets to the Red Sea, and the Pharaoh and his army's coming, and he's sitting there going, what do I do? And God says, part the Red Sea. So God parts the Red Sea, and they walk across the Red Sea and all of that. Well, that's what people think. Business owners think that you publish a book and the Red Sea is going to split and the world's going to beat a path to your door. I'm sorry to pop that bubble, but it's just not going to happen. You've got to know what to do with your book. How do you monetize your book? Okay. So what a book does, or marketing happens in the mind of your audience. It's how they think about you. And that's why when I published my book and I mailed it to you and you got a copy of my book, you welcomed me into your world. You had pen in hand ready to take down my solutions. It's because you thought of me differently. I wasn't a coffee bean. I was an expert. And in our culture, experts have books. Okay, here, we all know Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
Okay, he started with a TED Talk. It went viral. Why didn't he just stay doing video? You know what he did?
What?
He went and he published a book called Start With Why. And now he gets invited to speak for 6 figures for a 1-hour talk. And now he went back and wrote another book. And he's got a 3rd book now. Oh, do you think there's a formula here?
Yeah. Hating to interrupt, but I must tell you, one time I saw Neil deGrasse Tyson talk. And he said he got finished with the talk, which was amazing. That guy, of course, is going to blow your mind, right?
That's right.
And then he came to the Q&A and he said, okay, we're coming to the Q&A. It's kind of a dangerous part because whenever I get a collection of questions that people ask me over and over and some knowledge to put to that, I just put it in a book. So y'all better know that if you ask me a question I've already answered in the book, I'm going to point you toward the book. I mean, it was just so funny the way that he came across with that. Just like, yeah, you really need to, you have to put it down. You have to put it down.
You do. And it's just the fact that in our culture, experts have books. You look at Simon, you look at Tony Robbins, you look at Seth Godin, they all have books. Dan Kennedy, books, right? So why don't you are an expert. And here's the deal. Simon Sinek doesn't make his money selling his book. He makes money selling his thoughts and his ideas through his book.
Yes. You see, that's the thing is that, I met so many authors that are like, I did all this work to self-publish and now 12 people bought it.
Right.
What am I doing now? You know what I mean? It's just like, and they follow the logic that selling the book is how we're going to monetize the book.
Yeah.
When I write one, I don't want to sell it. I want to do like you did. I want to send it to people.
Absolutely. Give it away and because here's the deal. Here's the truth. Here's the reality. In our culture, it is sacrilegious to throw a book away. And so when you mail a book to somebody, we move it from house to house to house. Okay? You become a household name, a fixture. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And I don't know of another marketing tool that really does it like a book. Magazines are there, print newsletters are there, they stick around, but nothing has the staying power of a book and the credibility of this. And I think part of the reason, RJ, is because there's such a high barrier to entry. It's easy to do a podcast. It's easy to do video. It's not real easy to create your book. Can you do it? Oh, absolutely you can. But is that the highest and best use of your time? There's an argument there, right? So I think the barrier of entry is number one, but also then what do you do with it? How do you monetize that expertise that's there? That's where business owners are just deer in the headlights. They don't know. And that's the beauty of what I get to do is help them learn these systems that we use to reach the heart. I'm really big about reaching the heart, RJ, because I learned this from a marketing friend of mine years ago. If you reach the heart, the mind will follow.
Yep.
Because we all make decisions emotionally. So all of my marketing, as you've experienced, is heart-based. And that's the basis of credibility marketing.
Well, and the heart-based stuff, those are the people I work with, those heart-based coaches. And we want to transform the world. We want to shake the world by its shoulders and help people change one human at a time. A massive credibility builder, a massive vehicle, if you will, into being that expert that people call and say, hey, can you come be on my stage? And hey, can you, help collaborate with me on this program? huge vehicle to that is the book. And it's not about how much it sells. It's about how much it's read. It's about how much is acted upon. So now, I mean, this is super exciting for me.
Yeah.
Super
Well,
exciting.
all right. Think about this. Why, when you reach out on LinkedIn or wherever, any kind of marketing, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get a conversation with somebody,
Yeah.
right? Put this in their hands and they get to have a 1 or 2 hour conversation with you one-on-one because they're hearing you and your voice. And inside your book, you can put QR codes to different videos or whatever. So it becomes more interactive. And by the time they reach you and have that first appointment with you, it's actually a second or a third appointment because they know you so well. RJ, and we should talk about this sometime. I use videos in my marketing, lots of them. Through I just got off of a call with a prospect right before this podcast. And she said, "Hey, Michael, I've watched all of your videos." Now, when she set the appointment over a week ago, there are 3 videos that I asked her to watch before I ever get on the phone with her. And she watched all 3 of them. One of them 17 minutes long. Okay. So here's a myth. You have to have short videos. Nobody has attention span. They'll watch it because they're engaged, right?
Yes.
And so we can talk about that because, again, video is a great way to reach the heart. Here's one of my new pet peeves. Okay, I got a few pet peeves.
Okay, tell me.
Websites. Most of the websites I go to look like they were built in the 1900s. They're still all text and stock images.
Stock images.
Thank you. Why, people? We have this thing called video. Do a short video, welcome video. When you go to my website, you're going to have all kinds of videos. And I've got free trainings that are all video-based because I want you to get to know me.
Yep.
And I'm either going to really bond with you, and you're going to say, "Hey, I love this guy. Let's do some work together. Let's meet." Or I'm going to offend you. You're going to say, "You're just full of hooey, DeLon. Great. Goodbye. We're not going to connect." I'm okay with that. That's how marketing should be. So change your website, put a little video on there, have some fun. Let me know who you are because I'm really convinced, RJ, people are going to buy you more than what you do.
That is the truth. Because there are 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 million people who do what I do. Why should you pick me? Because you feel like you can trust me and I have the answer to your problems.
Absolutely.
How are you going to get to feel that way the fastest? Video, people. Holy moly. Well, so I do want to talk about that because the big question I always ask folks that come on this podcast is, how do you engage your audience? I want to talk about you and Loom, sir. Let's break down that relationship right now.
Yep, I love it. All right. Loom, Loom, is probably my favorite software. So if you haven't used it, just go get it. It's cheap. It's like, I don't know, $100 a year or something dumb like that. And it allows you to do really, short or long videos, right? I just did a 37-minute video for a virtual stage I'm going to be on in a couple of weeks. I recorded it in Loom and sent it to the presenter. I do a lot of Loom videos that are short, very personal. So for instance, I'm just going to open the gates here. After this podcast is over, I'm going to email RJ and it's going to be a Loom video. And I'm going to say, "Hey, RJ, thanks. That was so much fun. I really appreciate you featuring me on your podcast. And let me know when everything's out. And let's definitely stay connected to see how we can grow together. Okay? Take care."
Yeah.
It's a video that comes through. And when she gets it, it's me, a little gif of me, right? And then she hits the button and it opens up and there's that video. I virtually guarantee you it's the only video message you're going to get today. Probably. Okay. You can use Loom on your phone. I've done Looms through text. But what it does for me is it allows me to communicate the way I love to communicate. And it shares with you who I am. I could send that just a text email. "RJ, thanks for having me over." Yeah. Loom allows you to be yourself, to be real, and to let people connect with you. So I have a whole thank you system that we developed that we use in our business. And I've given you the link. I want you to put it in the show notes. It's absolutely free training. It's on my website. Just go get it. There's no opt-in. And you can watch me. I think I probably teach for 25 minutes on my thank you process because there are 4 steps to it. And they're all very simple and they're all very personal. And I sent a Loom, RJ, it was 2 days ago. I had a meeting with somebody, sent them the Loom because that's my system. She emailed back to me, wow, Michael, thank you for that video. That was amazing. Can't wait for our next conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I just reached her heart. I will be remembered, right? I want to be the first one you think of and the one you feel the best about when you have need for my service. That's heart-based marketing. That's credibility marketing. That's what we teach our clients. So that's one aspect of Loom. Can I go on? Can I tell you one more?
You must.
Okay. Here's the really cool thing. So we all use these calendaring systems like Calendly or Schedule Once or whatever. Great. We use them too. And they have these automated emails that go out. Say, hey, you just got booked. Hey, your appointment's coming up in 24 hours. Hey, in 15 minutes, right? Those are all kind of built in. What we did is we went into that system and I created, so let's say it's a pre-appointment. Somebody's scheduling an appointment to talk to me about creating a book. Well, that's great. I want to talk with you if you understand that, more about me and more about our process to make sure that we're a good fit. So I created a 12-minute video. Talks about my background, the story I shared. It talks about our process, our 4-step process. It has 2 client testimonials in it, right? Talks about what we're going to answer or what that call is going to be about. So in the Calendly email that goes out when somebody books, there's a link that says, hey, before we talk, please watch this video. It will answer the 5 questions I normally get and will help our conversation be more focused on you and your business. And they click that and they watch a video. And then, a few days later, they get another one, say, hey, your appointment's in 24 hours or whatever it is. Hey, watch this video. It will prepare you for what to expect on the call. That one's about a 4-minute video. And then I've got a video that I send out or a link that I send out right before the meeting, the day of the meeting. It says, here's our Zoom link. Because I got tired of people saying, I can't find the link. Where's the link? I'm like, I'm going to send out an email to you. That one doesn't have a video in it, but it's really short. But it's that personal conversation. And I have people showing up on my calls now, preconditioned to hire me.
Yep. There you are.
It makes that call so much better because they already know I'm the guy they want to work with if there's a great fit. And if they can afford me and all that, great. That's the person I want to talk to.
Yeah.
And they show up on my calls going, hey, I watched your videos. Thanks. I had a guy last week, 2 weeks ago. He said, Michael, I watched your videos. I am the exact client you were talking about in that video. That's called a buying signal, right? He became a client. Yeah. Because I use Loom to do all those videos because it's really easy and they do transcripts and all that, but it's the video aspect is showing up real and authentic and genuine through. And I love that because I'm using somebody else's system to deliver my videos.
Yep.
I don't have to create anything but a video. There it is. And you can do that. You can do emails with Loom right afterwards. I mean, there are dozens of ways to use Loom in your business. And I love talking about Loom.
I can't get enough of it. I will just say this, everyone. Michael gave me a little email today saying, hey, I'm missing the StreamYard link so that we can get on the podcast today. And I look back at my emails and I realized, yeah, we forgot to send him the link. And so I grabbed the link. I write a very short email. Hey, Michael, here you go. Got the link there. And then I've got my sign off, which is currently Bots of Love, RJ. Michael sent me a Loom and told me how much he loved my sign off, Bots of Love. And you know what I mean? It just made me giggle in the middle of my day. Yep. Y'all need to get a hold of Michael. I showed this link here. I'll throw it in the comments again. Yeah. We'll have this for the podcast. We'll have this all in the notes and everything. But y'all, think about this. Okay, it's a thank you system. Think about this for a second. Google gratitude coach and how many thousand do you come up with? This is the only guy that's going to teach you how to say thank you, engendering more people into your tribe and endearing you to them. the only guy. So hop on that, please. Michael, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to unpack this because it's so, RJ, we have lost the art of thanking, of gratitude. We have. Okay. So I guess I'm on a mission to bring it back. And here's my phrase. Here's how you use this system. Okay. So I'm on a call with a prospect, let's say, right? And I say usually at the beginning of the call, I say, hey, RJ, can you do me a favor? Because I'm old fashioned. I really like to write handwritten thank yous to people that spend time with me. Could I get your mailing address? Because after this, I want to write you a thank you. Oh, Michael, that's so sweet. Yes. I almost had tears in somebody's eyes once. So here's the deal. With the thank you, I'm going to thank you. When the call's done, you're going to get a loom thanking you. Then I'm going to take a thank you card that we created, branded for me, right? Obviously. But on the inside, there is nothing because I'm going to write it.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a stamp on it. And I'm going to mail it. When was the last time you received a handwritten thank you in the mail?
It was about 2 years ago.
It was. It's really sad.
And I remember the exact occasion was that somebody that I had joint venture partnered with them on a launch, she wrote me a note that was on a pop-up card. It was delightful. Yes. But absolutely I remember her.
Yeah. And so we do that. And a lot of times I'll include a copy of my print newsletter because on the front, there's an article of me and my family, my girls having pizza. Because why? I want you to know me and my family and bond at the heart level. And then the last step of my system is I use a gifting service that sends food gifts out to people. And so you'll get a food item in the mail that's like chocolate covered espresso beans or something like that. It says, hey, I'm just trying to espresso my thanks for the time that you spent with me. And that's the reaction right there. I get texts, I get emails saying, Michael, thanks. My kids love these things. And I become a household name, a household favorite, because I'm trying to market differently.
Yes.
And that's what this thank you system will teach you to do. Go watch it. It's a great training. It's absolutely free.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that. And I mean it because this is where it's at.
Yeah.
We have to start marketing differently. We absolutely have to. And all of those heartfelt coaches who have closed their doors in the past couple of years because they hate their marketing, we need to get out to those people. So if you are within the sound of our voices, forward this to somebody that you know that absolutely hates their marketing, because there is a way different way to do things. It is so much more in alignment with your values. Yes. You don't even know how much in alignment of your values it is, and it's so much more effective.
Amen.
There you go. All right.
When I first got into selling years ago, I remember standing in the bookstore looking down on the bottom shelf. There was this big red book, Tommy Hopkins, How to Master the Art of Selling. And I remember memorizing all of the tie downs. Isn't it? Wouldn't it? Shouldn't it? Can't I? Won't I? Right? All of those things to manipulate somebody into saying, yes, that is not what we're doing. Right? I'm building relationships. My sales calls aren't even sales calls. They're credibility conversations. Here's my closing question. Okay. Building up when I'm on a prospect call, right? We had a great conversation for 20, 25 minutes. At the very end, RJ, what would you like to do? Because by that time, RJ, we've built enough context, credibility. We've gone through everything. You know, and I know if hiring me to help you create your book is the right next step for you. And most of the time, people say, how do we get started?
Yeah.
Great. I'm not a high pressure sales guy. I don't like it. But we're all entrepreneurs. We do need to sell, but it's not selling. It's offering. It's can I really help you? What are you trying to make happen? I just got a phone call with I thought it was going to be a book prospect. Her first, right out of the gate, she's like, well, I've watched your videos. Two, I'm already a best-selling author. Don't need that. But I love your marketing. Mm-hmm. And here's what I need help with. And we walked through the whole thing. And we finally got to the point I said, you don't need my coaching program. you need to become a private client because of what you're trying to do only fits that one category. And I think we can help you, but I want to go talk to my son. And if we can't help you, I will let you know, because I will not start a relationship where it's just give me the money, give me the money. No, that's not what it's about.
No.
So it's showing up authentically and real. And I think a lot of business owners struggle with the whole selling thing because they don't like it. Great. I don't like it either. Let's get rid of it by preconditioning, by sharing value up front, giving and saying, here's who I am here. I don't want to wait until you get on a call with me to go through my whole dog and pony show and to hold back the pride. No. I tell people up front, I'm if you're just looking for somebody just to publish a book, I'm probably not your guy. Yeah. Okay. That's not what I do. Now I can get you a book published, but it has to be a platform for other things, for more education, more speaking, more revenue. If that's what you're interested in, then we need to have a conversation. So it's just relieving the barrier and just saying, can we just talk? I don't have a sales presentation. I have like 3 questions I ask, and then I listen.
Yeah.
And if I can help you, great. And if I can't, I know people. I can connect you with somebody. Anyway.
Okay, well, you and I could go on all day about this. I'm sure the people out there have things to do, so we're going to wrap it up for this time, but I am just inviting you back now because so many beautiful things you shared, and you are a heartfelt guy. You are not a hard sales closer. How's business? Doing all right?
Business is up for the 3rd year in a row. We're in our best year ever.
You're in your best year ever, and you started doing that you started your best year ever 2020, 2021, 2022.
Yes, it keeps growing every year. And when I mean that, let me show. We're up every year 35 to 45% year over year right now.
There you are, my friends. It can be done. You can be a heartfelt person and have a thriving, ragingly successful business. Get a hold of this guy, Michael DeLon. You know you want to. And thank you. Thank you for being here, Michael. It was a pleasure having you.
You're so welcome. It's such a joy. Every time we talk, I just love it. I walk away with a smile. Thanks for having me.
All right. Very good. We're going to wrap it up here. Y'all, you know where to catch me if you've got any questions. I'm on LinkedIn just all the time. And we'll have another one here next week. Going to invite you to the same bot time and the same bot channel. For now, bots of love.